So I might be a little bit slower today. So yeah, recently we had a couple trees cut down around the house, and I went to go clean up those trees. The guy that was cutting down the trees stacked up all the trees nice and neatly on top, which is, he did a really good job. But when I went to clean them off, I was working on the top way down, and one of the trees rolled off one of the trees on the top and kind of fell on my foot. And it's a small fracture, but it still makes me a little hobbly. Luckily the swelling has gone down enough though that I can walk around. Before I had to use crutches, but now luckily I can get off those crutches as I'm about ready to get hit by this barn door. So this video is going to be about this new piece of equipment that we bought called the Brush Master. And the Brush Master is a wood chipper slash shredder, and this was a little expensive. It was more than what we wanted to pay for a chipper, but this is commercial grade, so it should last for a very long time. One of the reasons we got a chipper is because we wanted to be able to make our own mulch on the property. Eventually we want to get some chickens and some other animals on the property as well, and this will be able to help make their bedding and nesting materials, so it's going to be a nice future investment. So as you can see, this thing is a bit massive. What was it? 250, 275 pounds, something like that. Yeah, so it's not something you can easily haul around, but it does come with the tow hitch adapter, which is one of the main reasons we got it. Since we live on a mountainside, we want to be able to take this back in the woods as well. And with these beefy tires here, we should be able to get it back on that trail once we get that trail leveled back out again. So yeah, this is 15 horsepower. It's a CH4 model, and I think it's 420cc engine, so it's a rather big engine. It is belt driven, so if you have any troubles with it getting cut up there, it does not destroy the engine. It destroys the belt instead, so a little extra safety precaution there. This is how new it is. We haven't even taken this tag off yet, but it's a DEK engine. We got it from Home Depot, so we'll put a link in the description below of this exact model if you're wanting to get one yourself. We did get about $800 off on sale. I think it technically is still about $800 off on sale, so that must not have been Black Friday like we thought it was. They got us thinking it was a great deal. Yeah, we'll put this thing to the test. We'll get these bolts tightened down. It comes off unassembled. You have to put the chute in, and also you got to install this thing on here on the side. They just bolt on. I don't think these have any torque specifications, but the blade itself that goes in here has like a 300-pound torque specification, which should be good when you first get it, but when you need to put a new blade on eventually, you'll have to re-torque that down. One thing that may end up being a problem with this, now that we got hooked up to the tractor, this does have a bunch of leeway and give and a gap where you hook it up in between here. So I may have to put a block underneath there, push this down to lift up the back. That way we have a little bit more clearance back here, but we may end up having to actually, looks like this is just bolted on here. Well, I'm not sure if you can take this off or not, but we'll have to see if we need to take that off to get into the woods. Today, luckily, we're just going to the yard, so it's not going to be a big deal today. So according to the manual, it's 1.1 quarts, so basically an entire regular container of oil. Might need a little bit more if it's 1.1. I think it was like 1.5 gallons of gas or something like that. Anyways, they give you this handy little oil spout here, so you can fill up the oil down here. This little oil plug. So kind of a tip, obviously you want to put this on a level spot before you put the oil in, because the oil's there on the bottom. They do have two different fill spots. They have one on this side and they have one on this side. it might make more sense before you put the chute on, since you can take it on and off, to fill in your oil on this side first, because the little thing they give you doesn't clear the engine here, so you can't get a nice angle, get the oil in there. You just kind of get oil everywhere. So I had to bring in my own funnel in order to get that in there. Well guys, we're gonna give this a shot. Looks like it's flipped on over here. Gotta turn the fuel on, which is the bottom here. Then you gotta turn on your choke, fire it up, and then switch over the run once it's going fairly consistent here. Deanna will film me trying my first attempt here after I put in some earplugs, because apparently this is pretty loud. It did come with this small little bag, but we'll probably end up just switching over to a tarp, because I have a feeling this is going to fill up pretty quickly. Time to get chipping. So here you have the final product. These are maple chips. It's actually pretty fine stuff. So make good animal bedding, and we have a bunch of cedar over there as well that we're going to be chipping after this. So turns out we're going to have a lot of wood chips. So although that bag is convenient to be able to get those wood chips in there, if you don't get the chips out of the way, it can back clog your wood chipper here, which is what happened to us. So we're having to go in there and try to clean out some of the packed in chips. So I think we're probably just going to switch to a tarp instead of using the bag. Move this, I guess you would call it an auger, down a little bit. So we'll just have to keep on scooping it out of there so it doesn't get backed up. But yeah, just in the time of filming that, look how many chips we already got. Might be able to turn this into a business. Probably not, but hey, you never know. So for now, we're just going to throw some of this mulch around the blueberries. We didn't really have any mulch to throw around it before. We just threw some leaves and some pine needles on there because the pine needles are acidic. Maple is not really acidic, but we're going to be adding to the soil come springtime anyways. We're just going to be throwing these maple chips around to cover up the rest of this area. I think it's fair to say we bought our last bag of mulch from the store. What do you think, Deanna?
I think so. I mean, it's just going to decompose a lot faster because the chips are so small. So if we want anything like with big chunks, we might still need to buy it, but otherwise I would agree.
So it's already looking pretty nice over there. And that's just from one bag. And well, we got that whole pile there. We haven't even started on the cedar chips yet, so that's just from 2 trees. And we got that. So
Lots of trees.
Yep, we'll have mulch for quite a while. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like it. You can also check us out at
DNSadventures.com.
And as always,
adventure on.
Well, guys, let us know if you have any questions in the comments below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can, and we'll catch you in the next one. See you later.